What's up, everyone? It's Mailman Mike Chong. Just want to say thank you for all the views, the subscribers, the comments, the emails. I really do appreciate it all. Definitely keep them coming. Today, I wanted to give you a quick video on this lovely Saturday. I hope everyone's having a great weekend so far. Wanted to give you a quick video on alibis, and the reason why I want to do this video is because I have a lot of direct messages and emails that are still heavily surrounds supervisors. You know, it's a lot of the supervisor, you know, did this or the supervisor did that. In short, just like JH said, like, just try not to create, you know, any ripples. You know, if you want a good 2 years, just get on the best side of the supervisors as possible. You know, do what you have to do. Like, never say no. I mean, honestly, that's going to get you what you want anyways. You know, if you want to request for leave, or if you want, you know, to have free range and freedom as much as possible as a CCA, get on the best side of the supervisor. Like, you don't have to kiss anybody's butt or anything like that, but just, you know, just try not to be on the bad side of the supervisor. But today I wanted to talk to alibis on what to say to your supervisor, because a lot of people they're thinking that they're slow, and they're thinking that they're horrible carriers and that they're not doing good. But this is just to not only give you all a peace of mind, but to let you know that these are legitimate. Some of these are legitimate alibis. And I know there a million things can happen out on the route, and if they do, those things can be used to help protect you at the end of the day on why you were going, you know, it took you this long, or you know, things like that. So without further ado, if a supervisor or a postmaster has a 30-minute stand-up talk, boom, that's 30 minutes right there. At the end of the day, if the supervisor tries to get on you, like, hey, why were you 30 minutes late? Hey, you were speaking for like 30 minutes this morning. Boom, that's an alibi. Full coverage in the DPS. We all have third bundles like every other week in the post office. We call them circulars or advos. We call them third bundles. It's just a third bundle, you know, that you're taking out and you have to deliver to every single address. But a lot of people don't understand is that if you don't have a third bundle for that day, like if you don't have an advertisement or a circular to take out that day, some people will notice that in the DPS, sometimes you're skipping addresses because you literally do not have any mail for that address that day. So you can see, you know, skipping a mailbox, or skipping a address, or 2 addresses, or 3 addresses. But sometimes we do have a full coverage in the DPS, and instead of skipping an address or 2, we're actually legit going to every single address that day, no matter how light the mail is. So if the mail is super light that day, like for me, for example, today I have a full coverage, and I'm not really heavy today with mail, but I do have a full coverage, and that's going to take longer than a regular, than a regular day of mail, because that's actually me physically having to go to every single address instead of maybe skipping a couple, you know, because skipping a couple throughout the whole entire day is going to add up to undertime. You know, going to every single address, and having a piece of mail for every single address is going to add up. So definitely keep that in mind. Unaccounted for certified letters. So before, certified letters used to be an accountable item that you would get at the accountable card. Now, in some places, certifieds come with the DPS. I don't know how many certifieds I'm going to get for that day, so that can be an unforeseen circumstance. So at the end of the day, just keep track of what the certifieds that you have for that day, because you're allotted 3 minutes for each certified, you know, and if you have 7 certifieds, that's 21 minutes right there. Realistically, it's going to take longer, because no certified I've ever done has taken like 3 minutes, unless I go up there to the door and I ring the doorbell and I and no one's there, and I write it real fast, leave the 3849, and then I'm out, you know. But realistically, if they come to the door and everything, it's going to take like right around 3 minutes. So just take into account your certified letters for the day and take note of them. And if at the end of the day your supervisor's like, hey, you're 21 minutes over, you can be like, hey, I had 7 certified today. I made notes here. Oh, unknown signature packages. So when we get packages for our routes, sometimes we may not see or know that package requires a signature. Almost just like a certified, that takes time. So keep track of how many signature. It's not really common for me, at least. So I don't know if anybody else. It's a common thing, but to get a package that requires a signature that's unaccounted for, it's every so often, you know, but they do happen. So definitely keep account of if you had any signature packages, and also keep account of all these things that are adding up. So if you have multiple of these alibis, like if you've had certified letters and packages and you have a full coverage, like you could say that, like, hey, I had a full coverage in my DPS. I had 7 certifieds that you didn't know of because you don't go through my DPS, because they're not accountable anymore. And then I had 2 packages that required a signature. So all these can add up too. Customers asking questions from how to forward their mail to EDDMs. EDDMs are our every door direct mail. Usually we're supposed to direct the customer to calling the 1-800 number or going into the post office, but you do have those persistent customers out there that want to know right then and there, like, hey, do you have a change of address form, you know? And then what do you have to do? You have to stop or either go back to your truck or go digging in your truck, and you have to have, you know, your change of address form that you're going to give to them. Usually I will explain to them, like, hey, you can go online, it costs $1, and it's immediate, or you can fill it out, stick it in your outgoing mail, but then those usually take around two weeks to actually go be processed through the system. I normally tell that as a courtesy. Nobody really has to, but that takes time. Also, a lot of times people don't take this into consideration is travel time. So if you're getting a piece and you're on one side of town and the piece that you have is on the other side of town and you got to go through traffic and all these things, a lot of people don't take into consideration travel time. Like, I got a 30-minute piece the other day and it was on a route that was way across town. And what I mean by way, like, it was 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes away from my very last stop on my route. So take that into consideration. Plus you got the travel time back to the post office. So if you're way out there and it takes you from your last stop on your route, it takes you 20 minutes to drive out, that's 20 minutes right there. Plus, if that route that you're going to do a piece on is another 15 minutes away from the post office, that's 35 minutes travel time right there. That's 35 minutes that you're just driving. So definitely take that into consideration as well, because when people are doing these pieces and splitting these pieces up, they're doing how much time it's going to take by just doing the piece. They're not taking into consideration the travel time as well. So know your rights, know your alibis, and I hope this helps everyone. I hope everyone has a great rest of the weekend. If you have any ideas for a video, give me a shout out. I try and I think there's one that I have not done yet, and that's on the scanner, I believe. But I will try and do that one coming up. But if you have any other requests at all, hopefully I can compile them if there's a lot and make one huge video. Other than that, you all take care. Have a good one. Later.